Hello and welcome to Game Theory, the spirit show on the internet.
Shut up.
Boom, intro. I love it. It's just, hello, shut up.
No, that's the intro. We're recording now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because I think I pulled that up. I think I pulled that
That's
impression off a
permanent
little
now.
bit too well. I don't even
Well.
remember how the rest of his introduction goes. I just think he wants to show this.
hello, internet.
Smartest
Welcome
thing.
to
Welcome
Game
to-
Theory, the show where we throw stuff at other stuff.
Yeah, it's the show where we insert a thing about or tangentially related to the episode he's going to talk about.
The show where you. Anyway.
You do realize we now have two podcasts with Game Theory. Like,
Listen to me.
Chunk
Listen
just
to
us
me.
talking about Game
Any
Theory.
podcast with me in it, I'm gonna make some sort of Matt Pat related joke in all of them.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
None of
Every
you can
single
stop
time.
me. Anyway,
You know what?
welcome back
I like
to
it.
the podcast.
Round 2 of nightmare fighting.
Yay, welcome back.
We called it Your Brain on Games. Did we ever say that name?
No, we
No,
really
we did
didn't.
not.
Oh, I said it's on the screen when I edit it,
Yeah.
and you can read.
And I call it Eggscast because your brain on games is a stupid name.
Excuse
Well, that's
me.
mean.
You agreed
I
to
I
it.
came up with that
I
name.
know. We did.
You made the logo for it.
I know. No, I call it Eggscast because it's shorter.
And you're dumb. That's why.
Yeah, thank you. I genuinely couldn't remember it because I called it Eggscast so much while we were preparing for it.
Wow.
Oops.
Should we do intros again?
I was gonna say,
then?
introduce yourself. Do it.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Alex again. I go by Hallister and everything, and I like video games.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
welcome to the video game podcast. We like video games.
I don't.
Listen, we don't have to be creative.
Wait, what's a video game? Guys,
What, guys? We need to
What?
define a video game.
what is this podcast about? I forgot.
Don't make me get my book on game design notes and the
Please.
theory of fun and what the heck all that means.
Please don't.
Don't
It was a joke. Please.
Don't worry. At some point, Alex, we will absolutely get that book out.
We'll
Good.
get to it. Introduce yourself, you stupid idiot.
Yeah. My name. Thanks. Okay. My name is Stupid Idiot now. My name's Bron. My name's Bronson. Bronson. That's Bronson, not Bransen, which I've actually had people spell it, which is stupid.
Wow.
I'm the paper nest guy on all my media.
Branson.
Branson. Oh God, I hope to God that doesn't become a thing of people just purposely misspelling my name now.
You know, your brother has a better spelling of his name.
Your
Branson.
brother has an E in his name. How come you don't?
God.
And I like eggs.
Okay, as long as you didn't steal my video games, I'm happy.
I like drawing. That's what I do.
Oh man, that's a
Hi.
good one.
My name's Kamaya, and that's it.
God, Nagito,
It's
die.
true.
Fingers in his ass, McGee.
Fingers in his ass. Fingers
Don't
in-
stop. We'll get copyright strike for that. Shut up.
I
You
know.
guys got really pissy about it.
Oh gosh.
You can find me if you type in your search bar right now and look up bigtitties.org.
Please don't.
BIGTITTE.
No, actually, you know what? Do it. I want to see if you get like a .org web donation.
Let me see.
It's gonna be an autofill for Braun too.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's just one of those domains. It's like themed after porn. It's seekexplained.com. Casual sex contacts.
Okay, well, that was a social experiment. Thank you for taking part.
Shut up.
My name's Amy. I'm on stuff as tiramisu. Whatever, figure it out yourself. I'm not your.
Dear
Ouch.
Amy Sue.
Yeah, because people.
Yeah. This is
How
fun.
how have your days been?
Shitty.
Yeah, actually, kind of crappy.
Next question.
Would you like to expound on that? I know this is supposed to be a video game podcast, but apparently we revealed too much that we don't actually know very much about video games. So
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I have like 8 game design theory books on my phone right now. I know what I'm talking about, sorta, not really.
okay,
Yeah.
but like that's
I
fine.
totally
But
know
have
what
you
I'm
ever
talking
played
about.
Fortnite?
No, but I consider that a success.
You're not valid.
Wait,
No,
what?
I agree with Alex on that.
Yeah, come on.
That was a joke. Are you guys?
Yeah, I know.
I know, yeah.
Okay. No, I have to say this up front that I'm joking.
Yes, of course.
I have never touched a copy of Fortnite, and I never.
I never want to.
The game has some interesting aspects to it, but
Can I-
the hype
can I-
behind it.
No. Can I start this
doesn't.
stream with a genuine complaint I have?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, this was gonna be the stream about good games, but sure.
You said we have to stay positive. I can't do that for too long.
You have to
I-
space it out with hate.
No, it's not. It's just a complaint I have. It's just I see a lot of these YouTubers that'll like criticize the people and the children who make Fortnite Let's Plays, but then they also show gameplay of themselves playing Fortnite, and I'm like, listen, you're like games and criticize them, but you can't say an entire subsection of people are like too normie, like because they play a popular shooting game that's free, and then go out and actively play and be good at that game yourself.
And then go do it. Yeah.
It's either you accept that you find the game fun to some degree, or you just don't play it and you be like, I don't like I don't know.
Yeah, that
Surrounding
makes
it.
sense.
Anyway, it looks like someone like a 13-year-old in DeviantArt threw up all over their Steam account. And
Thanks.
Wait, why?
It's ugly as sin.
Oh, Fortnite. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
thanks.
was just like, what are you
I actually,
referencing now?
I
Switch
was
topics
actually
about
the
that.
artist behind that game, so thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. I hate your work. Thank you. I can't say that I find it interesting, like Alex said, but something about like the really garish colors they use and like the weird LOL random XD weapons. Like I saw a weapon that was like a fish on a spear.
Yeah, those are mostly just skin stuff, I think, though. It
Yeah.
isn't like normal gameplay. So
I
like,
don't-
oh, now you can throw fish at people. New gameplay mechanic.
The shopping cart. Look, I've never actually watched a video of anyone play Fortnite. Like I never looked that up on purpose. I was just at someone's house while I was at like an old people party, and these like, little
Old people party.
There's
Yeah,
Fortnite there. It's growing.
No, my friend. Shut up. My friend's mom had a Rotary meeting, and they had like a party at someone's house, and my friend was like, "Please come with me. It's all old people, and I'm gonna be alone, whatever." And then like the people's house, they had like two little boys, and they were sitting on the couch playing Fortnite.
Oh no.
Just watching them, and I'm like, "Wow, okay." I mean,
Nice.
respect to children. You're allowed to like whatever you want. I own Minecraft. I re-downloaded Minecraft today.
Yeah, listen, Minecraft's a good game. Get some good
Just-
mods on there. Boom, you're set for days at a time.
Sure. I'll believe that.
You know
I will hurt
Minecraft?
you. Insult Minecraft.
Wait, hold on. Has Bronson never played Minecraft?
I have like
Okay.
in 2008.
Okay, we're getting you to
9.
play with us now.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, I need a
Never.
GoFundMe page made immediately where we just fund for Bronson's new Minecraft account.
For Branson.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone, where we'll be talking about.
No, it's important. We need to get Bronson a mic
No.
as soon as possible.
No, you're not ever. I'm never going to play Minecraft.
Get some FTB evolved. Oh yeah,
Wow.
baby.
Get him a Roblox account.
Ew.
Actually,
Yes.
never mind.
Should we actually talk about what we're going to talk about today then?
Yeah. You got any
okay.
more brilliant segues, Amy?
Well, I was just gonna say I'm surprised that when I brought up Minecraft, your first response wasn't to bring up the Minecraft YouTube channel I had when I was like 12. So now I'll say it. So if you ever try to blackmail me with it, I start, and I'm fully aware that I am
Do this
a
now.
I'm a roach to mankind.
Someone
Uh-oh.
please share this with me.
Go ahead.
I'll do it after. I'm not saying it in the middle of a podcast.
Okay, yeah, you know. Just
They're
like
not
finding me.
www.7332.
No, I don't think it
Everyone's
exists
seeing it.
anymore. I think it just exists as a
Oh.
concept. I wasn't in charge of the account. It was like 5 people. And like
Okay.
You have the archives.
it was based on that like the Runaway guys with like Chugga Conroy and
Yeah.
Breton John and I
And third.
this. I was like,
I don't
see
know
him in my
what it
head.
is.
I can't think of his username. Yeah, they wanted to be those guys, but it was like three dudes and two girls. It was me and Cassie, and then me and Cassie made the really bad YouTube channel that shall not be named.
Nice.
Anyway, let's talk about something else. I accidentally revealed too much.
Yeah, let's talk about things we do care about, like
About my
good
horrid
news.
past.
Yeah, so in order to combat the salt and vitriol that fueled the last episode, I said to myself, hey, let's talk about games we really like and enjoy, and also maybe, well, this was Amy's idea, but games that are kind of like obscure and lesser known, and give them some love. So this is going to be happy hours for the podcast.
So yeah, there's a few of these games where some of us don't really know a whole lot about, so we'll probably give some good descriptions on them too. So that way we all know what the heck we're talking about.
I'll try.
Yeah, I know neither of your games very well, so.
Bronson forced me to watch his. And
yeah.
It's about. I have no idea how he'll talk about it in a way that won't ruin the entire plot of it.
Oh yeah. Hey, I mean, I can give us some summary of the plot, and I can tell you why I like it. But there's
And then you
going
can just scream to play it for a while.
Yeah, there's specifically a part that I'm going to ask you to put a spoiler warning on top of. Sorry to give you work, but I want to share it with Alex at least. Just how this game is laid out, because it absolutely perfectly says how I love it so much.
So I guess you've just elected yourself to go first.
I mean, it was first on the list, so I was like,
Okay.
cool.
Did we actually have a list this time? I wasn't paying attention.
No,
Well,
Alex just wrote
I
it
put
down.
something in chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I have 2 Discord messages now. Oh, it's that. Okay.
Oh, whoops. There we go. There. Now you can. There.
Wow.
Now it's official. It's pinned.
We've pinned it to the Discord chat. We're very professional. I don't think.
Absolutely. We're top tier.
Okay,
Guys,
so
we want quality controls.
it's beautiful. I know nothing about this game, like literally nothing. So,
yeah.
like, what's the gameplay? What's it about? I need to know. And what
well,
is the
first,
game,
let
of all?
me introduce the name of the game, because I haven't said it yet.
Before you introduce, can I just ask, is it RPG Maker?
Yes.
I don't know why that was a question I thought to ask. I'm pretty sure I asked you when you showed me. I was just like,
Yeah. I mean, it's very clearly, it's like top-down, sprite-based.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it actually is made. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so the first game we're going to be talking about tonight, the game I love so much, it's probably my favorite thing ever, is called To the Moon by Can Gao. Thank you for your
hurry
patience.
up already.
It's To the Moon by Can Gao. It's an RPG Maker style game. It's just adventure, but it's an indie title. I don't really know how best to describe it, because it's kind of a puzzle game. It's kind of a visual novel, but not really either one. It's just like a story that also happens to be a game.
Huh.
So
that would be a visual novel.
Yeah, but like it doesn't have any of the tropes of like your basic visual novel of like the front-on perspective, or like lots of dialogue that you have to skip through. You play around and move through the world yourself. So the basic plot of this game is that it's a not too distant future where there's a technology that allows people to implant fake memories. You can create memories completely from scratch and implant them into a person's mind. The problem with this is that if you do that, you give them completely different memories they truly believe that they have, but because they're not their real memories, it like screws up their brain, gives them a bunch of cognitive dissonance, and it basically just kills them flat out, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty lovely. So there are corporations, quite controversial, who have started using this technology to grant people their dying wish, because since they're on their deathbed, the fact that this whole process kills the person isn't exactly as bad anymore.
Yeah.
But the plot focuses around 2 doctors named Dr. Eva Rosalind and Dr. Neil Watts. And it's the first game in a series, I'll say, about the 2 doctors. So you follow them through each of the stories. And there are only 2 games so far and 3 spin-offs. It's a very old series, because it's just one guy basically, and like I think 2 other people. So the games are being made very slowly. but yeah, it's Dr. Neil Watts and Dr. Eva. In this game, their patient is a guy named Johnny who lives on this little cliff out in the woods, away from civilization, on this little beachfront house that's next to a lighthouse. And it's pretty scenery. The main draws for the game that get me is that it looks like your typical average comedic fare, but it's actually really freaking heart-wrenching and sad, and really well written too. All the characters in it are just so lovely and enjoyable. I love the two doctors because they have such good chemistry to play off each other. Neil is sort of your typical snarker who makes sarcastic comments, and he's also a big gamer nerd. He makes Kamehameha references.
Oh, no.
Much to Eva's disdain. Eva's the more what's that trope about from the X-Files? Agent Mueller and Agent Scully, was it?
Those don't sound like the right characters, but maybe I don't know.
Don't ask me anything about X-Files.
Okay.
Scully sounds like, what is it? Like some sort of cop show.
I'm pretty sure Scully's the character from Monsters Inc.
Well, yeah. When I hear Scully, I think of Mulder. I don't know who that's.
Mulder, was that it? That might be it. Anyways,
it doesn't sound like
Eva. Yeah.
Scully's from Criminal Minds. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't watch
Eva
television.
Is the more. Shut up. Sorry. Eva's your more straight-laced character, so she really doesn't put up with Neil's bullshit at all. And they play off each other really well. They're a joy to listen to, and that's good because you spend the entire game working from their perspective. You constantly control them. So the main gameplay, I guess, is that you're traversing through the memories of your patient, right? And you start at the last memory that they have in their mind, right? So it'll usually be as the patient as a very old person somewhere near their house. And your job is to traverse backwards through their memories using mementos, so like items that connect two different memories. And you make your way back as far back as possible. And in order to fulfill the wish of the patient, you have to provide the patient with the motive, right? You give them the incentive to want to go there themselves. And their mind, or rather the computer, basically plays out their whole life under that new aspiration, and it makes their dream come true themselves. So they basically have a whole new life written for them. And you go back as far as you can to their childhood in order to send it, so that the whole life is rewritten. The main gameplay would be moving around, exploring the world, interacting with things in order to get, I'm going to call them time balls because I don't actually remember what they are, but you use them to unlock the memento in order to traverse farther back. And you typically just see dialogue. You learn about the person's life as you're going backwards through it. It's really interesting to me because it means that the story is written backwards. So you see the results and the culminations of the person's life before you see the things that led into motion, right?
Okay.
And that leads into a lot of really good storytelling, as well as a lot of really, really tasty, delicious twists. And
I hate the way you said that.
Shut up. I'm very happy about this game. I love it so much.
Did you even say why it's called To the Moon? Like, you keep talking about all the characters, and I'm waiting for you to say that the entire point is that the patient's super difficult, and they don't usually have to rewrite the dude's entire life, and it's because he wanted to go to the moon, and his life had no aspirations to be an astronaut in it.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
I'm just sitting here listening to you talking about the characters interact like this, and I'm like, but like.
Yeah. The main story is Johnny wants to go to the moon, and he doesn't know why. That's the problem. Normally, you would have to go all the way back through the patient's memory anyways, but typically they have to know why you want to fulfill your goal in order to give you the right aspiration, so you want to do it yourself. But Johnny doesn't give them that right away, so they have to figure out why he wants to go to the moon. Even he doesn't. Even he doesn't know. And I'm actually going to discuss that now in what's going to be very spoiler heavy. And I want Amy to put a little timestamp here if she can.
Big alarm.
Yeah, big old spoiler alarm. Woo, woo. Suck it in. Go play it yourself.
You're gonna spoil the plot of the game.
I am. Yes.
Wow.
I wanted Alex to play it.
Yeah. No. I'm not gonna
enjoying the game. Screw it.
Screw you. Whatever.
Listen, if I didn't spoil anything about this game, I wouldn't have anything to say.
Well, I can't even remember what the gameplay aspect of it was. I just remember you showed me like, it wasn't Markiplier. It was someone. It was someone playing it, but I can't remember like any
Markiplier.
I just remember.
No, I showed you Cries first, and then you couldn't stand his voice, so then I showed you Markiplier's.
You're right. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Really weird voice. Well, it was back in the days when he'd put on a fake voice, so it was like.
Yeah, the fake deep voice. Yeah, it was really weird. So okay, yeah. The problem with this game is that it's so story heavy that in order to talk about anything I really truly like about it in terms of the writing, I have to spoil the plot of it, right? So I'm not going to spoil the main twist of it. I guess there are two really big twists, right? I'm going to spoil the smaller one for you, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to do it in the order that the game presents you with the information. Is that fair?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, you're spoiling the game, so I mean, there's not a whole lot of fairness to it, but I mean, this is as fair as spoiling gets.
Do you want the game spoiled, or do you hate it?
Hello, sorry, I guess my internet died there. Sorry.
Oops.
But yes, what I wanted
my question.
to share. You what? No, I didn't hear your question. My internet died.
No, Alex didn't answer my question.
Oh.
What question?
Did you want to play the game, or did you want Bronson to spoil it?
I think you're fine with spoiling it, because this doesn't, I mean, visually this doesn't look like a game I would play, but maybe story-wise it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll watch Markiplier play it probably.
Good idea.
I'll be honest here.
Yeah, that's pretty much the mood.
Geez, I didn't think it'd be so. Okay, fine. Whatever you want.
Did I hurt your feelings? Did I do that?
No. Like I said, it's a very heavily story-driven game. If I did kind of work you into a corner, Alex, but I imagine you don't usually play games like this, so I wanted to explain it to you here.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Cool. So yeah, anyone else watching this can skip or go play the game. Go freaking buy it and play the game. Support Kangao. He needs to eat food.
It's $10. I was just searching it up. That's a lot of money for an RPG Maker game.
It's a
decently long game.
Okay, then that seems fair then.
Undertale was an RPG Maker game.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He also spent forever working on it, which he spent even longer working on the sequel. The sequel came out To the Moon came out 2011. The sequel came out last year.
Wait, I thought the sequels were just like the little tiny.
No, well, those were filler episodes essentially. They were mini-sodes. So yeah. Anyways, thank you for interrupting me, Amy, because I was going to make a point earlier.
Sorry.
This helps me go.
I may remember.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say one part of the gameplay is that
where are you going, bro?
What?
Come back,
Hi. You can hear me?
Yeah.
I have to keep my head perfectly in front of my laptop. So yeah, the way each memory is set out is when you arrive in a memory, you have to collect these little orbs in order to unlock the next memento. You don't know what the memento is, you have to find it in the overworld. And typically, in order to find the memento, you have to play through the memory. So there will be maybe 1 to 5 little portions of memory that are overlapping, and you can interact with each of them, have the characters talk to each other, and it'll progress forward. And then someone will lay an item out on a countertop, and that'll be the memento, and then you can proceed, right?
Okay.
So yeah, I just wanted to be clear that memories can overlap. That's a part of it. So let me begin the spoiler section now. You can put the spoiler section here again, I guess.
17 alarms until we actually get to the spoilers.
I was gonna say, how long is this episode gonna be, Bronson? You're just gonna.
Yeah. Well,
Spoiler after spoiler.
I'll try to get through it. Here we go. Okay. So late in the game, while you're in Johnny's childhood, you end up exploring his house, right?
Oh my God.
So,
I'm sorry. No, I know what you're gonna say, and I hate it because this was the twist that, like, it's something in his room, and it's just Bronson like paused the video. He's like, "Okay, I want you to look at this guy's bedroom and see if you notice something."
Yeah.
In like 10 seconds, and he played it, and I was so confused that I like looking at like a still of the bedroom. An extra hour, and he's like, "Are you still looking at that still?" I have to guess it before it happens.
Yeah. So.
Still mad.
So yeah. I'm so happy you never got that. Like, it took you forever. You guessed it after like the 7th try.
No, it was one of the first things I noticed. It just didn't register to me because of...
Okay. Good. Okay. So Alex, I want to see if you can guess it, because I'm only going to tell you what the game tells you as it's laid out.
Okay.
So as you explore the room, it's just Johnny's in his room playing around, and his mother's in the kitchen, like I guess cooking or just talking to herself or whatever.
Silence of the Lambs. She killed someone with the food.
And you find the memento and you leave the memory. And as you're leaving the memory, Dr. Eva Rosalind takes half a second and she looks over, and a little bubble comes over her head with an ellipsis. And then it just fades away to the next memory, right? Doesn't tell you what she was looking at, but clearly something's up, right? So when you arrive at the next memory, you realize that it's broken. You can't actually access it. They appear outside the memory, and for some reason it's not connected. They think it's an issue with the machine at first, but they realize no, it's actually just something wrong in Johnny's mind. You can't actually access that memory because it's disconnected in his own head. He's repressed it for some reason.
Huh.
So they find out, well, the first thing they notice is that the memory smells of roadkill. And the second thing they notice is that they can't get any further. So they decided for themselves that, hey, this is probably far enough back that we can send the little signal to make him want to go to the moon. And so they try to send it and see if it works. They go into the future, it doesn't work. They send it again, still don't work. And then they basically have what is a half-an-hour long comedic montage of them going around to different portions of his life, basically just screaming at him, hey, do you want to go to the moon? And it not working.
Yeah, there's like a scene where like, sorry, I'm interrupting you. I just remember this
Go ahead.
particular where like he's in a movie theater. I think he's trying to ask his future wife out, and like the male scientist like puts up a poster outside like about the whatever, and he looks at it and he walks away and he like starts fuming on the side.
Yes. And then actually Eva writes Eva wrote the music, the movie, and you just hear a little snippet of it. And it's just someone badly singing "To the Moon," and she's like, it's too late. It's too early in the morning for me right now. I can't do this." So yeah, there's this big old comedic montage, and they realize it's not working. So eventually they just decide to leave his memory and try to replan this. They need to get further back in his memory in order for this implantation to work, but it's not working. So Neil goes out and he gets the public record for Johnny, and he realizes that Johnny was actually given beta blockers in his early childhood, which for whatever reason he took it, has a little nifty side effect of repressing a person's memories. It doesn't actually in real life. That's actually one of the things about it. It's just like, that's not how that works.
Fantasy world.
Neil quickly realizes that he can use the scent, something really strong smelling, in order to re-jog his memory, because the olfactory senses of the body are directly connected into the memory portions of your brain. And it just so happened that at the beginning of the game, Neil and Eva actually ran over a squirrel. And they realized, oh, hey, we can use this smell of roadkill because the last memory we were in smelled really strongly of roadkill.
Wait, so
Dangle the squirrel over his head while he's like bedridden in a coma.
let me get this straight real quick. So
Yes.
these doctors, they ran over a skunk in the beginning of the game. They're
Yes.
like, hey, you know what? Let's keep this in our inventory for later.
No, it's still outside. I think you
It
got
was,
it.
okay, thank God. I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, let's put it in my pocket. Maybe.
No,
So-
the game's events take place over like a 48-hour period, I think, or a 24-hour period.
okay.
It takes it takes place over 2 nights. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They just put the skunk in their pocket, like, ooh, first snack.
they have
delicious.
they have a container that they use to contain some of the scent.
I don't think they pick up the dead animal. I think they just like
No.
or something.
Neil made a joke about that, but he was like, "No, we have a container in the trunk. Use that instead." So yeah, they use the squirrel, and the scent works. It manages to reconnect his memory, and they manage to gain access into an even earlier memory. So as they go back into the machine and enter his memories again, the next memory that they have, or that Johnny had, is of him as a kid outside his house, right? So he's just playing around. Now, Eva is like, what?
No, I'm sorry. I was keep going. I'll say it.
I don't think we're going to be able to top Bron's storytelling here.
I know, I'm great. Sorry. I'm the best at telling stories, aren't I?
I feel bad I keep interrupting you, but I just keep thinking about things from like the stream that we were and it was just
Okay, hold on. I'll try to get through this as quickly as I can so you can mention them.
no, go ahead. Let's take your time.
Okay. So yeah, Johnny's playing around outside. It's a bright summer's day. Everything's beautiful and lovely. Johnny's mom is outside talking with the neighbor. And as Eva comes in, she's really antsy. She doesn't want to tell Neil why, but she's like running around. She's leading them, and she's trying to find something. And she's not saying a dang thing to Neil. And eventually she gets to a point where she's searched everything, and she's like, okay, well, I guess I was worrying about nothing. Oh shit. And then she runs back to Johnny's house, right?
Okay.
There are little Johnnies everywhere around this memory. Now, remember how I said memories can overlap, right?
Mm-hmm.
All over this memory, little Johnnies, and Neil actually comments on it, says, saying, dang, there are a lot of him running around, but I guess it makes sense because it was his childhood home. So yeah, Neil and Eva run back, and we're treated to a little cutscene. So remember the roadkill? Johnny's mom gets in the car and starts backing out the driveway, and poor little Johnny runs up and gets T-boned by the back of the car.
What?
And knocked into the middle of the street.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because it's an RPG Maker game, so the way it's just like a sprite goes flying a couple pixels into the street, and it's playing so straight, and I'm just crying. I'm like, I
I'm
know.
in such detail, like, oh, he went flying to the street. He was in agonizing pain. It's literally like 3 pixels moving.
Yeah, no, it's like
it's 3 frames of animation. It's just him like moving, turning, sitting back as he's trying to avoid the car, and then just boom, it like cuts to black for half a second.
It's just because it's like a 16-bit game.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
And the thing is, by the time it happened, there is a couple details that Bronson left out about
I'm doing it on purpose.
how you're supposed to infer it. But by the time that Eva started freaking out, I knew it was about to happen, and I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna animate this horribly. I was excited for it, I gotta say.
Just for half a second. Johnny has a repressed memory. He was given beta blockers in order to repress that memory. That memory featured the smell of roadkill very heavily. And Eva noticed something in Johnny's room before they came to this memory. That's all the information you need for this, all right? So that was the lead up to it. Now I'm going to explain the twist to you.
He's gonna be like a murderer or something, isn't he?
Probably. I've killed him.
I killed children.
Yes.
So little Johnny's knocked out in the middle of the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Eva's like, oh crap, I knew this was gonna happen. And Neil comes up behind her saying, holy shit. I mean, how on earth did he survive that? How is he even remembering all of this if he's unconscious right now? And Eva says, he didn't. Neil, did you notice what was in his room? A bunk bed.
Oh.
And a little voice from the distance, the little kid, Johnny, safe and sound, runs up yelling, Joey!
Why'd you give both of your kids J names? First,
Father.
I hate.
Wait, is Braun dead? Is he?
Oh, did Braun just die?
I think he died.
Oh my god, Bronson's dead. All right.
Put the X's in this knife in
Nothing's
his head.
dying. Nothing's dying. I'm not doing anything. I keep dying for some reason.
Because you're in K-Man and everything cuts out for you.
Yeah, I'm in Gay Man. That's why.
You just outed Braun. How could you?
Oh, I'm sorry. You can find me now.
Okay, so if I could explain the thing that pissed me off so much when I was watching this, is that
Go right ahead.
where the mother's talking to himself and Johnny's in his room as like a child. Bronson didn't pause the video actually. It got to the part where Eva like looks in the room, pauses and walks out. And Bronson says, there was something you were supposed to notice in that room. Did you see it? So of course I pause and go back to stare at the room. And I'm looking all
Which
over.
is unfair.
Yeah, I forced him to pause it like 7 times. He was getting mad at me because like, no, and then I was just like naming random things like off the top of my head that I saw in the room. But the thing with the bunk bed evaded me because my bed is a bunk loft and I am an child. So sometimes I forget that bunk beds are usually supposed to denote 2 people, and I'm because I'd like to sleep high. I have a friend. I have a friend who has a bunk bed too, but she's the only one who sleeps in it, and she just puts a bunch of stuffed animals in the second bunk. So I saw the bunk bed, and it registered in my mind almost immediately. So when they played the cutscene again for what I was supposed to be looking for, I saw the bunk bed. I'm like, they're just gonna run over like a twin brother or something. But then it was like, it's my fault for being an idiot, so never mind.
Yeah, but no, I will say like a bunk bed in a child's room is not something you'd instantly notice. Because I will say this, I am joking with you when I got pissed off, because as a person playing the game, you were allowed to see his room. The memory was in his room. You had complete access to it, so you could look at that bunk bed all you wanted.
Markiplier didn't.
Yeah, he didn't at all. The fact that you had to connect that then with the fact that, oh, did he have a brother or something, is like something so far off that it works as a really good twist. And the fact that you didn't get that, Amy, is my testament to it, because you get everything.
I don't get everything. I just keep just throwing things at the wall because I want to understand everything. Like when I started playing Ghost Trick and I just started like throwing out theories that didn't make any sense, and then one of them right on accident, like very.
The dog is the cat.
It's like the cat is everyone, but
everyone is the cat right now.
But I like the way that scene played out, like foreshadowing wise. Although I do say the only thing that bothered me somewhat was the fact when Eva paused and looked at the room with the ellipse. I feel like it would have been better if she didn't pause at all and you just kept going.
Yeah.
Like started jittering later, like she remembered. Because then as soon as she does that, you're like, oh, was I supposed to pay attention to something in this room?
Well, I mean, that's exactly it for me. Like he wanted you at that point to realize is something up. What's going on? Because the next hour worth of game is completely making you forget that, right? The whole comedic moment and then leaving his memory. That
too, but then like right before you go back to the scene where the brother gets run over by the car, you have to actually bypass the memory of the kid's bedroom again anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So you would be reminded if you saw it again. I don't know.
I think at that point you wanted to. Yeah, that's fair enough. I get that.
The thing with the roadkill, I also thought was a little bit. It's like it smells like roadkill. It's like like something died. It's like okay, thank you.
Yeah, geez. Well, I wonder what happened here. Well, I mean, also the fact that, like I said, the fact that he had beta blockers, which just happens to repress memories, would also tip you off at that point.
Yeah. Someone's dead, and and you just have to find out who.
Roadkill doesn't smell bad that quickly, though. It's only if it's like sitting out.
Yeah. You're right. I don't think roadkill
smells
like a dead body.
No, my family's farms are surrounded by dirt and plants.
Alex
I know what dead animals smell like.
Sure, farms.
I don't know
dead
if
children.
I don't know if dead animals and dead people smell the same. And what I've been
Yeah.
told by my mother, who works in insurance and was told by someone else, she said that like the smell of death is like something weirdly sweet,
Oh.
like not in a
Um,
good way.
Yeah.
So I
Like,
feel like if they really wanted to be subtle, they could have described it like that instead of just it smells like roadkill, because then it's like it smells like something got hit by a car and died. Are you paying attention?
that is as direct as it can get.
no.
Hey, someone
I guess
said,
I guess the scene where Neil was just like, "It smells, Eva. It smells," would make less sense then.
yeah,
Later on.
a little bit, but I
Yeah.
did have to tie in the fact that they hit a squirrel in like the very beginning of, so that's clever there.
Yeah. So yeah, Alex, that was the second major twist of the game. I'm not going to spoil the big twist of the game, so
The
you
big
can still
twist would-
enjoy.
The big
Okay,
twist would be very
Markiplier will spoil that for me.
yeah, the big
Yeah.
twist would be weird to try to reveal because it's the entire game and what it's
Game, yeah, it's the entire span of the game, yeah.
like you wouldn't realize the context unless you've seen every other aspect of the like something it introduces to you almost immediately when you meet the guy's wife shows up at the very end as part of the twist.
Yes, yeah. That's one thing I do like about it because there is replayability, and even though the game is like not different at all, you can choose the doctor like that you want to play as at the very beginning of the game, and that's like the only thing different. But the replayability comes back in the fact that if you play through the game again, you start to notice all the little hints and subtleties around you that it drops. Because of the fact that the story is delivered to you backwards. Everything is already there, it just doesn't have the meaning yet.
I like stories that have a lot of like subtle foreshadowing a lot. Like like what Doki Doki did, like if you play it back again then you realize everything that's been said to you in the beginning and
Yeah.
the implications
Yeah.
are later.
Yeah.
Like-
I guess I can drop the spoiler tag now, then?
Yeah, I guess you're done.
Yeah.
That was a long spoiler too.
You could come to here.
Yay.
What a way to start the episode. Welcome.
Welcome to. Do you have anything else to say about the game?
I love it. Go play it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's good. Perfect.
Good post, OP. Thanks.
Thank you.
Am I allowed?
Are we moving on to yours then, Amy?
Sure.
Was that a sure to like I'm allowed to talk or sure to the question I asked?
Wait, what was your question?
Am I allowed to talk about two games if one of them I cannot say anything about without spoiling the entire thing?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Whatever, yeah.
Okay. So I guess to start out, sorry, because when you were talking about To the Moon, I just started thinking about Ghost Trick again.
Oh, nice. The Ghost Trick would have been my other choice,
But that's
I like
that's
To the Moon.
literally impossible to talk to people about.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
But no, I think it's interesting. I think it would actually be easier to play like on iOS because I don't
Oh, okay.
know how you'd play that. I mean, I guess it's for DS and you have like the touch screen or whatever, but it feels
Mhm.
stylus when I played it on my phone on a very awkward cruise.
That's fair, and it's just because you have the other screen isn't really used for much. It's just like the
Yeah.
information and like the time, but like the iOS version streamlines it all to fit on one screen anyway. So
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't know if we actually told Alex what Ghost Trick is about for the most part. We just told him to play it.
do you know what Ghost Trick is, Alex?
Yeah, I saw you guys sent me the first video of like the intro of the game.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
half an hour long. It looked
Mhm.
interesting, but now it's just really hard for me to slug through that first half an hour.
Well,
on
it's
my
not
phone.
it's not really slugging. I guess you could.
Well, I mean, it's
You can-
just because I already know what's happening now. It's like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
in order to actually see the plot, I have to play through something that I saw in the video already.
Well, the dialogue skips through decently quickly.
Yeah. And figuring out how to do the puzzle in the tutorial is
Not if
It
you're on a
takes-
slow emulator.
Takes a hot second.
Shh. The FBI are listening.
Yeah, they'll
Emulators
find
are
you.
illegal. Just getting the ROMs is illegal.
It's
Yes.
fine. No, but Ghost Trick is just like
Play it on a ghost ROM.
the entire premise of Ghost Trick is you start the game, you're dead. That's not even a spoiler.
No, literally, the game begins with "and I'm dead."
And I'm dead. Your ass is like in the air. The box cover to the DS version is just a picture of Cecil dead on the ground. Like that's
With his butt sticking right
yeah.
up.
That's the opening sprite. So it's just like you're dead, you don't know why, you don't know what your name is, you figure that out. It takes a little while for you to figure out what your name is. Well, it takes like half of the prologue for you to be like, that sounds familiar, I'm gonna use this name. And you have like weird spiky hair.
I'm dying yet.
You have two abilities and it's Ghost and Trick, and that's where they get the it's just like,
That's beautiful. That's so smart.
all the items around you are possessible, and you can like go across the level by like possessing all the items, like opening and closing them. So the trick is like if you possess a fridge and you trick it, you can like swing the door open or swing it shut, or like or whatever.
If you're a fan, you can start the fan up and it'll start blowing something. Yeah.
And you can affect the things around you. And basically, the plot of the game is that literally everyone around you keeps dying. It's
specifically one girl.
Yeah, the first character you meet dies like a trillion times. And it takes place over the course of one night, and your power is if you possess a specific person who's like been dead, you can take them back to 4 minutes before their death, and you're trying to prevent all these people's deaths by like manipulating things in that 4 minute span. And
yes, you change their fate.
There's like a mafia aspect that's the reason that like it's assumed that you're dead and that the first person who dies is dead. There's just like a bunch of blue people in like fedoras with guns, and you're like, oh god.
Oh no. They're foreigners. That's the weirdest thing is like all the blue people are foreigners. That's how you know they're foreigners.
There's foreigners from somewhere. They're just all blue for some reason.
I don't know why.
They stole from Danganronpa.
Yeah, really. And then it's just all the characters are really charming. It's made by the same dude who made the Ace Attorney games, and his dog is there. And this is actually a decently important character, which I was not expecting. I just thought it would be a cameo. But
yeah, no.
Good
beautiful
boy.
Dog boy saves the day.
Gorgeous Missile Boy. I don't know, like the art style is really unique. It's like sort of it is cell shaded, I guess, but it's,
cell shaded, lineless cell shaded.
Yeah,
and
they're all very
too.
Yeah, they're all very expensive, and like even though it's not very high quality, it works with that because like all the actual poly count on like the 3D-ish sprite looking things, just like it's charming.
Like they do a lot because they do a lot with the 3D models, even though they're so small. Like all the characters are like there's one character, Cabanella, who is just a gift.
It's literally me.
He dances everywhere. He's so good. They do a lot with the characters.
Even on my phone, it looked good, which I thought was weird. I was like, oh, this is gonna look really ugly, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. Wow. So, but I don't know, it's good. Play Ghost Trick. It's not very long. I think it's like 16 chapters.
Yeah, depending on how well you do with trial and error puzzles.
No, and the puzzles aren't like super hard. The puzzles are only like they give you 4 minutes before the person's death. I don't think it's actually ever 4 exact minutes. So if you mess up, there's like a restart button, and you can restart at any time. And even if you get to the very end and have to start over, it doesn't take you very long to get back to that point.
Yeah.
So
it's never infuriating because it's so short a time. Yeah.
That's good game design.
Yeah.
It's streamlined.
Heck yeah.
And sexy. So that's it. Play Ghost Trick, and also play Ace Attorney for similar reasons. The game was gonna talk. I could talk about Ace Attorney for a million years, but I want to talk about.
That's in the next episode now.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Me convincing the world to play Ace Attorney. I want to talk about Octopath Traveler because I can't remember when it was the first time they talked about it. I think it was like when they first announced the Switch, and Octopath had like a very sort of short trailer because it's an indie game, and everyone in the YouTube chat was like, "What the hell is this RPG shit?" And someone was like, "Hey," I'm just looking at it, I'm like, "This looks interesting." Really, I don't know if you've ever tried to watch like a Nintendo stream on YouTube with like
they don't turn out very well.
It's bad. It's all bad. I hate people.
I actually love it when it's just all Z in chat. It's like, dude, they're literally announcing in the next Mario game.
Like
Metroid 8.
Metroid 8. Yeah, no. They just all hate indie games, but Octopath looked interesting, mostly because it had like a very like original Final Fantasy look. If you look up what the art in the game looks like, it's like 2.5D. Like it
uses flat 2D sprites, but they're all placed into a 3-dimensional world. Yeah,
it's 3D space, but everything's in a 2D sprite. Like all the buildings are in 2D and all your characters are in 2D. but it's the camera is like swinged enough so that like in battle you can tell that the enemies have like blank space behind them, like a shadow. So it's just it's like the Paper Mario style, but if it was just like pure pixel art instead of like, you know, paper sheet.
Yeah, that's a good way to. Even the buildings, because all the geometry is very simplistic, but all the detail of it comes from the pixel art textures.
Yeah, it's almost like a voxel from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lighting's really good. God, I love the lighting and like all the little effects that they put in, because they have like dust effects. Because the first demo was they gave you two characters. It was like Primrose and Ulbrich, and Primrose is like the dancer girl, and her place was a desert. So they had like little dust flecks that would like fly across the screen, just like while you're walking around, and it made it feel interesting. And like just like a lot of little things I noticed right away. And that like the rooms had like, again, it had like the Paper Mario look, where it's like it was a box room that took up like a very small portion of the screen, and then you could see like part of the outside, like from the part in the room.
Like there were black spaces where like the wall was moved away so you could see inside. Yeah.
I don't know. I just like that style a whole lot, and it's like somewhat voice acted. But some of the cutscene parts have voices for all the minor characters and the bosses and the actual people talking.
Is there a blabble or no?
Not real. They like.
They'll just say like a word or something here.
Yeah, they'll say like a word when like the dialogue isn't important. But if it's like when you start up a file and you pick a character, for like the first 20 minutes, all the dialogue is fully voiced.
Yeah.
So, and that's interesting. And you hear the word horror said 3 times. And I thought that was funny. Yeah. One of the first things I noticed in the demo is, okay, the first one I played was, well, I should say outright that Octopath is about, you have 8 main characters, and I cannot pronounce all of their names, but each of their names coincides with the letter in Octopath. So, you know, Primrose is the P, and Ulbrich is one of those, I don't know. And for the first demo, they gave you 2 characters, and each of the characters respectively has a different class, and they have an overworld ability. So they gave you the dancer girl, and she could like seduce like NPCs in the overworld, and if you seduce them correctly, you could call them into battle to take damage for you. And Ulbrich is a fighter, and he could fight NPCs for experience. You could just like pick fights in the middle of like a town. It's like, that's the mood. But it started with Primrose, and her plot was like she's like a slave girl dancer or whatever, and you like break out of like the tavern and you go to fight the rich old man who is keeping you captive. And he calls her a whore. It's voice acting. He says it like 3 times on my Nintendo system, and I'm like, it's like, man, Nintendo, greenlit.
It's literally a brothel, and she's literally a whore in a whorehouse.
Yeah, no, she's a whore. He calls her a whore. He's like curses at her. She slits his throat, and he like gurgles blood. Like that's acting.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
That's a really good scene.
Yeah.
I watched it again today because I recruited her into my party, so I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's a dick. I mean,
he's just like a big fat dude on a throne.
Yeah, it's almost fake how bad he is. But yeah, just the moment when you kill him is so satisfying.
Yeah, it's like he asks you to dance for him one more time after you beat him in the boss fight. Then he goes to attack you, and then Primrose like slits his throat, and he has like 3 different acted voice lines where he's gargling blood and dies slowly. Just like, yes.
He's deaf in pixel art still, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just like a dead sprite on the ground, but like the voice actor's going really hard. He's like, I'm gonna make this convincing. It's great.
One of the characters' names is Hanet.
Is it? I don't know which one. That's not one of the ones I haven't used yet. The ones I've used were Darion, the thief, who's very flamboyant. So immediately I was like, okay, this is me.
Oh, nice. He's got an epic scarf. Oh.
Yeah, that he has like, he looks like, I don't know, like the gay archers from Fire Emblem. He's being those class of people. And he has like.
I was gonna say he kind of looks like Oma crossed with Komeda, and I hate that.
That's really bad. Please never say that to me again. So he's the thief, and you can like walk up to NPCs and like pickpocket them, but it has like a % rating. So if you fail, your like rating in the town goes down, and they like spread rumors about you if you fail too many.
Oh wow!
Like stay away from that guy. And then I recruited, because you can start the game as certain characters and like start their story, and then on the overworld map it'll show you where every single one of the other characters you can play as are. And if you go find them and talk to them, you can start their story, and they're like in your party, so you can like run 2 stories at once with like 2 different characters.
That's kind of cool.
I found the apothecary character. It's like Alf something. They were calling him a nickname, but I could not pronounce his name. And
Alfin Greengrass.
he he looks like Alex from Stardew Valley.
He really does.
He does. And then I think his ability is weird. He can like talk to people in the overworld and then they'll like share their life story with him. But he's an apothecary, so if you buy him certain items in battle, he'll like mix things together and like do random healing effects on your party. So that was fun to mess around with.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I've only played with those 4 characters so far.
Okay.
I think there's like there's one of the girls is a healer, I think. But that might be the one that starts with H that you were having trouble pronouncing.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting concept. It reminded me a lot of like Final Fantasy like 4 and 6 like art style, but the battle system is a little bit weirder than I thought. And every time I put the game down for a while, I forget how it goes. But basically, you start the battle system and you have like 2 different weapons, like just like swords or like an axe or whatever, and you can switch between them. And your enemies have a little counter next to them with a number, and that number represents the amount of times you have to hit them with a certain item to break their character's defenses. And if you hit them with the item they're weak to, it'll show like a number of items they're weak to, and if you unlock what they're weak to, it'll like show up for next battle so you don't forget. If you hit them with something they're weak to, it breaks them and they won't attack for another couple turns, and then the damage you do is higher. So it's like when you're fighting against bosses, they'll have like a really high number next to them, so you have to spend a long time breaking their defense and then like wail on them while like other characters attack you.
So you're like Drago from Rocky. I will break you.
Just like that.
Perfect. Thank you, bro.
Precisely. Thank you. I don't know. It's decently fast paced, and you have like a counter. I don't know. It's not like BP. Well, it might be like battle point system. But you have these little like gold dots next to each of the characters, and it's like a counter of 5. And every time you don't use one in a turn, it'll like go up another one. So if you save up your battle points or whatever, you can like press the R button and it'll like stack your attacks for however many battle points you saved. So if you saved like a bunch of them, you can do like 5 attacks in a single turn, just like row. So it'll knock your enemies down faster. I don't know. It's like
just wreck everything.
You have to like think about it, and they give you a bunch of items right off the bat. Like you just find healing items like all over the ground, and then you use them up really quick. And from what I realized, I didn't actually realize it did this until later. I think that the area around you levels up with you. Because I walked into a town, I grabbed a character, and then I did a boss fight, and then when I walked out, the enemies were still, like, my level, even though I leveled up, like, 3 times.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
so you always have a challenge in the enemies. That's nice.
But in the demo, there were certain places I couldn't get to. Like, I tried to walk into an area, and it's, like, not unlockable by the demo, but it'd show you, like, what level the area is. It was, like, level 20 or whatever, so I'm like, okay. Thanks. But it's fun. And I think there's also an aspect that I didn't get to test out where it's like if you save up, when you level up, they give you like job points or whatever. And if you get enough job points, you can like give yourself like a secondary subclass where you can make someone like a healer or like also a thief.
Oh, okay.
Like extra moves. I don't know, that's interesting.
The thing that makes me really want to check it out the most is just how customizable it is. If I can ask you a question, that thing you brought up earlier. Oh, well, thank you. Podcast over. The thing you mentioned earlier about the fact that you can like meet the other characters and progress their stories.
Mm-hmm.
How I'm having trouble visualizing how that would work. Okay. Because I know how Primrose's story would start, but if you can just like put her on your team before her story starts and then start her story?
I did that.
Yeah.
So what I did is I started with the thief character, and I started his storyline, and his storyline's like he's trying to break into like this castle-looking place, and he like a merchant's clothes, and he sneaks in. He's like, "There's no treasure in here," and like a butler's like, "We tricked you into coming here because we were looking for a very strong thief to come recover some gems for us," and he like. And he like locks something to the guy's wrist that was like, if you go out in public with this thing on your wrist, it'll show that you failed in stealing stuff from our castle, and you're too proud to like have this thing, so it's black. Whatever. I'm like, I didn't get that, but whatever. So
Uh-huh.
it's like under their control, and I was like, okay. So I was looking for the next place to like continue his story, and I guess I'm not supposed to do that in the demo because the next, like, I looked on the map and it's like required or recommended levels for the next part of this guy's story was like 22, and I'm like, okay. So
Oh.
yeah, I don't know. So I was just walking around the map and I found the mercenary guy just like standing around. So I talked to him and it started his storyline, which was just like, it's like it asks you, do you want to see the cutscene for the opening story? So it'll like introduce you to the character. It'll have like a short cutscene of like their goals or like their family member, and then it'll pop up on the map like you have to go here next to like go along with this new character you've got in story. So you go to like their first boss battle and like defeat it with your party, and then it'll continue like your new party member's story, and then it's like, okay, you've completed the first part of their story. Now you can either continue with their story or the first character you've chosen story, and they're like both on the map. And then I like went down the path and I found Primrose. That's the one you're familiar with. So what happened is I talked to her, and she's just like, she was talking. She's like, yeah, I saw this guy. Like the first part of her story is she's doing one of her dances and she sees some guy in like a black coat from her childhood, and she's like, I gotta follow him. So she says that to my character, and she's like, okay, we'll go follow him. So we like follow the dude out of the path, and then it like progressed to the boss battle of the fat guy. But this time
Wow.
I had like an active party already. I could fight with like more powerful characters, and in turn the boss was higher leveled, like way higher leveled. Like it beats
Uh-huh.
with my parties because he was doing a decent amount of damage to me, which I wasn't expecting. And then like so we defeat him, and then it's like, okay, now you can do part of her story. So you have like three new path options. And I think you can only have
Yeah.
like up to maybe four party members on your team at once. So you can like unlock everyone's routes and then like change up who you have on your party or like where you want to go next.
Mhm.
And of course there's also NPCs who have like side quests you can do if you want.
How different are the cutscenes? Because in the demo, like it was just Primrose.
Yeah, no, it just shows their like the character who's doing the act standing there. Like
Yeah.
the rest of the
Okay.
it's like off screen for it, but they
It's
still
kind of
fight
Paper
in
Mario
battle.
rules where they disappear into your ass.
Yeah, no, they don't get like extra lines or anything, but I guess it wouldn't be
Mm.
fitting because they're not part of your story. It's
Yeah, yeah.
very
That makes
personal
sense.
journeys. But
It's
and then
still
when you have
neat how close they have them. I like that a
yeah,
lot.
and then when you have like multiple people on your team and you like walk up to an NPC, you see the apps like, oh, you can charm them with Primrose, or you can steal their items with Therion, or you could like ask them about their lives with whoever Alf was. And
Hmm.
you could do any of these at once. All these
Whoever
characters.
Alpha was.
I seriously can't remember. It was something weird. It's like
Hey.
I want to say Alfred. It wasn't Alfred.
No, I said it already. It was Alphin Greengrass.
Alfin. Okay.
Yeah, with a
These
Y
names
because of
are-
course.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I think his story was that like you go to a cave and you get venom from a snake to save some like your friend's sister, and then
Oh.
and that he's like, I want to travel the world and save a bunch of people, and he's like, you should do that, and so he goes out helping. I don't know, it's just an interesting game, and it makes me sad that like no one cares about it
Talks about it. Yeah.
at all. Like I went to GameStop to pre-order it because it comes out the day before my birthday, and like the girl didn't give me a weird look, but I just because like right before that happened, the trailer for Smash Ultimate came out, and I'm like, everyone's probably going to GameStop to pre-order that, and I'm like, I would like to pre-order Octopath Traveler. She's like, yeah, you can do that, and I'm like, yes, I can, because no one else is doing it. I guarantee. The only one here, thank you.
I just imagine like you walk into the GameStop and she sees you and just like, oh no, another Smash Ultimate fan. Oh god, here,
It's
just
like-
take it. I want Octopath, and she's like, you've made my day.
I just like slap my $5 in the counter, like I want Octopath Traveler. You cowards.
$5.
Because you have to.
$5.
No, it's $60, but you have to put down a deposit to,
Okay.
Mm.
to
You
pre-order
put down the
anything.
$5 and like, we got the 60 covered for you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're the only person who asked. I guess that's just the kind of person I am, because that's what happened when ARMS was announced. When like the very first Switch trailer, I think Octopath had announced that one too, but they were showing ARMS like as one of the first things, and everyone in the chat was like, "What the hell is this? This looks so dumb." And I'm like, "I want that. I want that game." And I'll still defend ARMS, even though it's sort of lacking in content, and I haven't picked it up in a while. But it was an interesting concept. I don't know.
Oh,
I just like a lot of the indie titles, and I wish I had time to play more of them because I just feel bad that they're usually overlooked.
Yeah, love them all. Love all those indies.
Go play Octopath Traveler. At least get the demo for Octopath Traveler, because that's one of like the best demos I've ever seen. Because it gives 3 hours of playtime and then like 3 empty files, and you can just do whatever you want in those 3 hours. Like in those 3 hours, I started like 3 different storylines, and then it cut me off. I was like,
Cannot play anymore.
I can do more now.
Yay!
And then it lets you transfer it over to the main game. Like it does everything else.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's my spiel. I love RPGs.
Yay! Good spiel.
RPGs are good because they don't require me remembering like complicated button mashes. I just have to
that's fair.
numbers. I'm like a math kid, so you know. That's very yeah.
Yeah, very good. Play Octopath Traveler and play To the Moon. But play To the Moon before you play Octopath Traveler.
Wow, okay, I see how it is.
I feel like there's some bias here.
Yeah,
no.
A little bit of bias.
Whatever are you talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about at all.
No.
I mean, you'd kind of have to play To the Moon first because Octopath doesn't come out for another 2 weeks.
Yeah, true. Yeah, play To the Moon before Octopath comes out because that's been out for years now. Give it some love.
Yeah, support indie creators.
Yeah, give them love.
Or I'll kill you.
If you won't be able to play the game, how would you feel then?
I'll chop your fingers off. You can't play now, huh?
I'll kill you, then I'll steal your wallet and I'll donate the money. First you made the game. Yeah.
It's pretty extreme, but pretty fair.
I'm all about the extreme.
Fair.
Oh, you know, it's just fair, whatever.
No, this is a very Marxist-style form of equality.
Yeah, what do you think this podcast was going to be?
Anarchy only.
Listen, we're laying new ground rules here.
Communism is the best.
Oh my gosh.
It is the day after 4th of July. Communism rules.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like freedom, America, all that fun stuff, or good government. Communism the next day. It's Communism Day. It's July 5th.
Yeah, straight up.
I was talking
Listen,
about
I don't
communism
celebrate
on
the 4th of July. I celebrate Will Smith Day because that's when he saved us all from aliens. And that's really the important thing.
You're right.
What movie is that from?
Independence Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then.
Which is about the 4th of July. And I think the White House blows up really dramatically.
Yeah,
I remember there was a trailer for the second one. That's why I remember.
But Will Smith isn't in the second one.
Second one. It sucks, yes.
Like, why would you even watch it? He's not in it.
There's a picture of him at the very beginning, and it's just like, he's not in it, is he?
It's actually really funny, because I was watching a movie review for Suicide Squad, and the dude's like, I'm only watching this because Will Smith's in it. It's like the same reason you watch Independence Day.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's like...
That's fair.
I don't celebrate 4th of July, but I just like have a cookout in my house, and then I set off sparklers and burn off the tips of my fingers.
And then you praise your Lord and Savior, Will Smith.
Yes, that's what I do. I have an altar in my room.
I should make one.
Yeah.
I already have that.
Oh no, let's not go that far.
I already have that.
Let's not make one though.
I have the wooden plaque you engraved for me that has the opening lines to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song.
Okay, maybe that's fair then.
You know what? Yeah, you win.
If that goes on the altar, then I'm fine with it.
That's my altar.
Ahead. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I do too. I quote Fresh Prince quotes at it.
That should be the next thing I engrave.
Fresh Prince. Okay, Alex, you also had a game?
Yeah.
Mark next year.
Definitely not as like lesser spoken about as your guys' games, but
well, I've still never played it.
Yeah, it's kind of hidden in the shadow of a lot of other Nintendo games, but the Pikmin series is one that I would kill many people for.
You heard it here first, folks. Alex will kill.
He's killed before and he's gonna do it again.
A big sensor beep right over that.
He's beeped before and he's gonna beep again. That could be worse, actually. Don't.
So the Pikmin series, it's I think it's like actually considered a real-time strategy game. But the whole goal of the game is pretty much collecting items with your little Pikmin creatures, growing more Pikmin creatures, and just trying to reach certain goals throughout the day before it reaches nighttime. because then the planet gets too dangerous at nighttime. So then you have to leave the planet's surface with
I
everything.
can't breathe at night.
Yes.
Toxic air at night. It's full of
Actually,
fart gas.
it's canon that oxygen's poisonous to the main characters of the game. So
Oh yeah, I forgot
Really?
that.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
like oxygen's poison into the Octopath.
Yeah, because Olimar's not a human. He's like a tiny
Yeah.
person.
Well, I guess that makes sense why he wears the spacesuit in Smash then.
Yeah, yeah.
He'll die.
He's dead all the way.
Oh my god, have you seen the screenshot of Olimar with the cracked spacesuit? Because now I'm
Yeah, I know it's disappointing. That's
They're gonna
the
kill
thing
him in
that got mentioned
Smash.
about him.
He's gonna die, guys.
just gonna die.
It's like, oh yeah, you know, this character, the only thing they updated is he can kind of almost die.
They're gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Just
like you're gonna get a tiny fissure on that helmet, and like his entire face is gonna be sucked out the hole.
Oh no! Like that episode of Magic School Bus where Arthur takes this is over.
Arnold, no.
Arnold's head freeze.
Watch this.
Get pranked.
This is what's gonna happen to you if you stay here. Dead.
You know
So
this was
funny.
seen way too well, bro.
I
Yeah.
do. Listen, Magic School Bus was my childhood. I'm sorry. Go ahead with your childhood.
Okay, yeah, Pikmin was my childhood, so that's fair. Yeah, so there's 3 different games in the series, and it's just amazing because they promised Pikmin 3 for 9 years.
Really?
Wow.
It was like, well, it was 9 years of a gap since Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 3, but it was like
Oh,
as soon as
wow.
Pikmin 2 was announced and it did like semi well, they were like, oh yeah, we'll work on a 3rd one. That sounds like a good idea. Miyamoto really loved the Pikmin idea, so he's like, yeah, we'll do it. 9 years later, with next to no info about the game.
The
Freaking rip.
SpongeBob voice is like 9 years later.
I know that's basically what it was.
Oh my god, it
Like, I
was for
remember-
Wii U. I forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was for Wii U. It's
Yeah.
a really good game. Like
It looks really nice.
Mm.
it looks nice. The one thing I miss though is the things that I love about the first 2 Pikmin games is like, I mean, the visuals obviously and like the style and just the general gameplay, but the music style for the first 2 games has like really catchy tunes,
Mhm.
and then Pikmin 3 goes for more like the natural nature feeling.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I can whistle all the songs from the first 2 games, but as soon as you go to Pikmin 3, it's like I what?
There's a
Maybe.
whole lot more ambiance tracks.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
They sound really nice though. I'll say that
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
how I
that-
feel about Breath of the Wild. Like, doesn't have a lot of like classic Zelda music attached to it.
Yeah, that's
More like
that's
sounds.
wasn't that's
Mhm.
how kind of it is for Odyssey as well. There's a lot of catchy tunes.
It's sort of Jump Up Superstar is I guess like the main one. But
Honestly,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's like
Yeah, there's
most people
lyrical
could like
tracks.
whistle along to a lot of Galaxy songs or Sunshine songs, but it's like there's not a lot of people I know so far who can just like recognize and, like
yeah.
just
Yeah.
sing along with
They're
Really?
very simplistic because it's dynamic for where you are in the level. So
Yeah.
like if you're
Oh, yeah,
next to
that-
the town, then there's like sort of a mariachi beat to it. And then if you go out into the desert, there's a bit just like a simple drum beat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it
suppose
like
that
gets
makes
more
sense.
distant. But
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they've always done like the Yoshi bongos with whenever he's in the game.
Yeah.
Like with Super Mario World, Sunshine, I think Galaxy 2.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm.
Super Mario World, the classic.
Oh yeah. The
I'm sorry,
other
we-
good game.
we keep interrupting you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're talking about Pikmin.
Oh no, it's fine. I don't not because it's more of like a well-known game, I guess there's not a lot that I'm gonna be able to talk about compared to you guys like going through the gameplay.
I mean, just treat it like we have no clue what Pikmin is, because
Okay.
For the most
I
part-
have no clue what Pikmin is.
I watched Toga Connor play like a really long time ago, but I think it was just the first one.
Mm.
I don't know if they changed anything up by the time they got to the third one. Can I ask
Yeah. So,
if you know what the 3DS one was?
hey Pikmin.
No one talks about that.
Yeah,
I don't,
we're-
and I never knew what it was.
It's like a 2D platformer Pikmin, except it kind of
Mhm.
like removes the main aspect of what Pikmin is.
Yeah.
It's like the main goal of Pikmin is like discovery and exploring and finding new methods to do certain things. But it's like for Hey Pikmin, it's like, okay, go through the level. There isn't really much of a puzzle. Just kind of
Oh,
figure out the one way you're supposed to do it.
that's,
Go right with Pikmin. Yay.
Yes.
yeah, I guess that would explain why no one liked it.
You know the thing that made me not like it? It looks exactly like Yoshi's New Island.
Ah,
That's fair.
that's a discussion
valid
for
opinion.
another day. Because oh my god,
Yeah.
oh my god. You know what?
The
That could be
kazoo's ready for that one.
that could be a discussion for after Alex is done because so far this podcast has not gone nearly as long as the other one. So
How long was the other one, anyways?
2 hours?
almost 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours. Okay.
I haven't edited it yet. At the time
Yeah.
it's being recorded. Oops.
True.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll
I
get
don't
to
think
it.
you're probably going to do any like lots of cutting like in the middle of it. I don't think.
Yeah.
Would you?
No, I wasn't gonna cut in the middle.
Okay, that's what I
I'm a
think.
computer fan now because for some reason it's trying to load something.
Yeah, but so the first Pikmin, yeah, I'll kind of just go through the series so you can kind of see the progression of the game, and then what I'm maybe hoping for Pikmin 4 when it comes out. Even though I swear to God, I will kill someone if we don't get news soon. Considering it's been like 3 years since I said, "Oh yeah, it's almost done."
You almost fit it. It's like a Kickstarter.
It's official Nintendo Kickstarter, and it's disappointing.
The official Nintendo and Indiegogo account.
Jeez.
Yeah, no,
Pikmin
I
3
promise.
is ready for delivery. We just need your money.
Guys, Mighty Number Pikmin is coming out soon.
Oh no.
Oh
I
no.
promise.
I will die.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up bad things.
Okay, so Pikmin 1, like the whole basis of the story is that you're like flying through space, and because you're a terrible pilot, you hit like the one thing floating in space near you, which is just like an asteroid for some reason. Just like, oh, I
one.
guess I can't dodge the one thing in space next to me.
One
But,
asteroid, you get one.
Yeah. So you crash land into the planet, and as you're falling down, like bits and pieces of your ship go flying everywhere all over the planet. So the goal of the game is to recover as much as your ship as possible, and before your oxygen runs out, because you have a limited amount. So you have
Isn't
to
it
try
like a
getting
day
back to your home
cycle?
planet before you die. What was
Like
that?
a day cycle? You have like a certain amount of days it gives you to find stuff?
Yeah, 30 days.
Hmm.
That's your max amount of
30.
oxygen.
Oh my god, sorry. Describe the thing that Bronson just put in group chat. It's like the Metacritic rating for Hey Pikmin is 69%. That's actually higher than I thought it would be, to be honest.
Yeah,
It is a lot higher, and I'm glad they chose that just for that.
It's like the Pikmin are represented good in the game, at least. That's the only
Mm.
positive thing I'll say about it. Yeah, but like the first Pikmin game, there's a lot of items that aren't like required to beat the game, but you can just get them to 100% it. 'Cause I believe there's 30 parts for the 30 days, but there's a good chance that you're going to get a lot at the same time.
I think some of the optional items are just like random things, because I remember when Chugga was playing it, he wrote trivia on some of the items, and I think one of them was like Nintendo playing cards or something.
You might be thinking of Pikmin 2,
Oh, well.
because Pikmin 1 is all about the parts. There's like all the optional items are like, oh, my daughter gave me this pendant and it makes my ship look really nice. It's like, okay,
Oh my
yeah,
god,
you really didn't
Captain
need to spend
Olimar
time.
canonically has sex.
Oh no. Oh. I thought you were going to say you had a daughter. Oh, Lord.
I really
Something
hate
nice
you right
and
now.
sweet and wholesome for once.
You've ruined the whole game series for me. I hope you
Sorry.
realize.
Oh, God.
Captain Olimar fucks.
Oh,
Those words hurt to hear.
Sorry.
that's terrible. He looks like a garden gnome. I don't want to think about that with a
Oh,
penis.
just stop. No. Don't go into any conversation about this, please. So the first game.
So try to get back on track after that.
Please, anything to bring it back on track.
I'm so sorry.
They
You
introduced.
collect parts for your ship, yes?
Yes. So they introduced the 3 Pikmin types, which is fire, water, and electricity. So red, blue, yellow.
Yeah. Primary.
And-
The yellow ones have the ears. I remember that.
Yeah.
And
It's mouth. No, it's nose, mouth, ears
They
for
have
red, blue,
noses?
yellow. Yeah, it's the red Pikmin are the only ones with noses.
Big pointy nose.
Oh yeah,
Really?
they look like Pinocchio pretty much.
Oh, they do.
And
I
the blue ones
forgot
just have
about
the
that. I
tiny
guess it's
little-
because when you look at a red Pikmin from the front, you can't really see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not very noticeable for most stuff.
Hey, I found the best Pikmin.
Oh, get out of here. Go on.
Knock knock, it's Knuckles.
I don't even want to continue anymore.
Pikmin conversation canceled because
podcast over. I ruined it. We're gonna stop sending visual things on this podcast that no one else can see.
I'll show them, or I'll put them in the description.
No context at all whatsoever.
Nah.
They don't deserve it.
Nah, fine. I just remember I don't know if it's the second game that brought in like the purple ones and the white ones.
Yep, that's where they came in. I was just gonna get to that because Pikmin 1, it's basically just after you collect their parts, you exit the game. You're like, oh yeah, I win. The only thing I will mention about Pikmin 1, I don't think it's really a spoiler, but if you don't get enough parts to exit the planet in the 30 days allowed, yeah, you actually die.
Of
Like,
course.
it shows you on screen like, okay, I will die if I stay here, so I'm going to try leaving the planet. So your ship goes up in the air.
His ship crashes.
It's like halfway up, turns off, you fall down, and you see the Pikmin carry your dead corpse through their onion.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Abduct you, and suddenly just come out as a seed in the ground as like a purple-looking Pikmin, dude.
Oh my gosh. They use you as fertilizer and put your soul into a Pikmin. Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's the most messed up thing of the whole series.
I think it's kind of funny, actually.
It is, but it's messed up too.
It's the circle of life? Question mark.
Circle of life.
I don't even want to know how that works for any sort of circle.
Fine.
Actually, you know what? I would want to be part of that. If I get to be a Pikmin when I die, I think I'll accept that.
The Pikmin dies super easily, so.
Shh. Don't you dare say bad things about him.
They do their best.
Yeah, come on. So Pikmin 2, it basically just starts out with Elmer's coming back after like his harrowing journey of escaping death from this certain doomed planet.
Oh,
and he comes back to his home base, like the planet that he works for.
Wait, isn't the plot of that one the fact that he's broke and they make him go back?
Yeah. As soon as he gets back, the president of the company is just like, hey, we're out of money. The only thing we could sell is your ship. So they literally, you like watch his ship that you spent a whole game trying to save. They just pick it up with the magnet, throw it away.
Oh my god!
Like Oliver like looks at the camera.
Yeah, he's pretty disappointed. You can tell. And then,
oh no! Oh, Oliver is the most tragic Nintendo
I
character.
know, it's so sad.
Poor guy. Does Tim have Louis?
Yeah, Louis comes in here because it's actually like Louis. The reason why they're in debt is because Louis lost, quote unquote, lost like their most precious cargo that they ever shipped, which was just like a crate of golden carrots. A little spoiler here. If you get like a lot of extra credit stuff, or if you complete 100% the game, you get an ending cutscene that shows that Louis actually ate all those golden carrots. So he's the direct response for why the whole company's in debt.
Oh, Louis, no.
Oh god, that's a mood actually.
Him eating. That's his character.
I'm sorry.
What's the third game then?
Oh, sorry. I see a picture from the third game, and it's just one of the characters from the third game saying, "So it turns out this isn't Mr. Olimar at all, but rather some other guy called Louis." I'm so glad that they just call him some other guy.
Some dude.
That's how he is for the whole series. Let's be honest here. He's like, oh, he's here too, I guess.
Yeah,
he's like
it's
the dude
Louis,
that like comes to the party as a +1 that no one actually wanted there.
He's the 16th wheel.
Yeah, it's bad.
I really like the president character from the second game. He looks
President,
funny.
yes. I loved him as my icon for the longest time. I was just constantly zooming in on his face like every day.
Is he the one with the 5 hairs for the mustache?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I love him too.
The yellow dude that just, his eyes pop out.
Yeah.
He's just so shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, so Pikmin 2, it's like you're in debt, you have to save money. It turns out on the Pikmin planet, there's treasure everywhere. So you have to go back with Louis this time and save the president from getting beaten up by the loan sharks, the black hole loan sharks. So yeah, it's you exploring the planet. They introduced the mechanic of caves, which actually stop the progression of like the day-night cycle. So it doesn't continue counting your time on the surface until you're back on the surface. So you
There's
can
no
stay
time
in
in
the cave for as
caves.
long as you want. Yeah, I know. If
Time
you're
is an
underground, there's
illusion.
no time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're collecting treasure, and that's probably if you see like images of like a squeezed out tube of Mario paint or
Yeah.
CD players, a glove. That's an
Is it-
item that gets choked out of a bird.
Isn't one of them just like a Coca-Cola like bottle cap?
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
of bottle caps actually. There's like a Dr. Pepper one.
Product placement.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
they actually might have. I don't know
Were they
how they
sponsored?
actually legally got away with that, but
Oh.
Is the art
must
style
have
of
been
this
sponsored.
game, like, not in the game, but like in production art, is it claymation? Because all the pictures I keep looking up look very.
that's just the title art or like all the box art stuff.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But
It's a really good style, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks really nice.
I mean, it's not like you would want a full game out of that, but it's like, oh,
yeah.
cool.
I mean, they've translated it well into the games from what I've seen. Like
Yeah.
the GameCube titles, at least, it works. It's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the plot of the third one?
The third one, this one I don't know as well because I mean I finished the game, but I didn't like super pay attention to it.
Is it
Don't
not
judge
as
me. I
good?
played Pikmin 1 and 2 like 18 times.
Okay.
Pikmin 3 is just once. But like the plot of that one is this time you control 3 captains and they're from a planet that doesn't have enough food to support life anymore. So they're sending out these 3 captains in order to find fruit on another planet to support life. So the whole entire point of Pikmin 3 is collecting juice from fruits so that way all the captains can survive and getting the seeds from those fruits to bring back to your home planet to bring it back to life.
Oh.
And then it kind of gets intermingled with the Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 1 characters because you run into Olimar and Louie. Yeah, Bron was talking about Louie's just there eating all the food.
As you do.
Yeah. As he does.
He
Thanks,
literally,
Louie.
yeah, they find him passed out in like a coma state. And then when he finally wakes up, he steals all your food, lands the ship, and runs away with it.
My God.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to
Seriously, what's
remember-
his deal?
Yeah, I know. He's just like, oh, okay.
Why?
This seems like mine.
Wait, can I just say that if you go to the Pikmin wiki, the mouse is like a little rocket ship that has all 3 main Pikmin in it.
I know, it's awesome.
It's really cute.
It's like
that's
the onion from
adorable.
Pikmin 3.
It's like an onion, but it's like a spaceship. Like you can see him in there.
Yeah.
Oh, the ship's actually called the Onion.
Yeah. the
Yeah,
onions.
that's actually what they're called.
Ah.
Because Omar's ship is the SS Dolphin in honor of the GameCube beta title or whatever it was.
The code
Kind of like
name
how the
for it.
Switch was the NX.
Yeah.
And then 2, it didn't even have a name, but 3, it's the SS Drake. And then all the onions are just called onions.
The
You used
onion.
to call me on my cell phone.
We're gonna get sued, Bronson.
I'm sorry.
Why are you singing? Come
Right.
on.
The Drake.
Yeah, I don't have, like, I guess I'll just say the things I like about this series now because it's like, that's all there is. And the only thing that I think should be mentioned is Louis' nickname is the Bug King at the end of Pikmin 2. Take that how you want.
Awesome.
Bug King? That's
The
me,
Bug
yeah.
King.
King of Bug.
Is he just like is it like The Fly with Jeff Goldblum? Is he just actually a horrifying abomination creature?
I wish make the game so much more like
Yes.
startling.
Oh,
Poor child version of me would have a heart attack.
he's the
Oh,
final
great.
boss. Pikmin
I'm not gonna say anything on that.
2. Oh my.
But yeah, this game is just I love I guess just the creativity of the system of it. Because you never see a lot of games where you're controlling that many characters at once. Because I mean it's not like you're controlling each individual Pikmin, but you're controlling a swarm of creatures, which is still pretty threatening.
Yeah.
Like, if you've never played Pikmin, but you've played Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, it's the puny section, but it controls well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine that with like an actual decent camera for system for movement like that.
And you don't hate the punies, and you can kill them. Actually, you can kill them very easily.
Please don't say that. They're good.
Except for
Pikmin.
Just when I watch people play Pikmin, specifically the Chugga Connor I played through. I just remember one time he was doing something and he wasn't paying attention, and then like half of his Pikmin got crushed by something off screen. Started.
It happens so
no.
often. It's
Oh,
such a tragic
no.
event. It's like you feel emotionally attached to these creatures, so when they die, you're like, I can never go back to real life again. I am a monster.
I've committed so many awful sins.
What have I done?
I think I did a Snapchat thing once where it's just like, oh yeah, I know my life's in order because I can control 100 Pikmin at once. And the next image was just all of them dead. Like you could see the ghost spirits of all of them.
Oh, that's the worst part. You can see the spirits ascending after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's like a little cry as they die too. So like, oh,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I
just-
feel
Oh,
I
like
feel
I've done
terrible
something
inside now.
horribly wrong.
I need to stop playing now.
Yeah, but the movement system's great. I liked the third one. The third Pikmin game was really hard to control for me, just because I was so used to the GameCube version of the controls. But with like the Pikmin 3 version, you have to use, or it's built for the Wii remote, so you're supposed to point at the screen to kind of aim where you want to throw. But if you're used to the GameCube controller, everything kind of goes where you want the control stick to go. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like imagine pointing at the screen and the pointer goes on top of everything, and that's where the Pikmin's supposed to go, compared to the GameCube version where everything's on like a level ground, where it's like you're aiming for whatever height Almer's at, but if there's something above that's like blocking the path down to the ground, then that's where the Pikmin will land.
Okay.
I'm explaining it poorly, but just believe me when I say I have reasons to hate the Wii U version of the movement system.
Yeah.
It's fine. A lot of people don't like things the Wii U did.
I was gonna say, if you have a complaint against the Wii U, I'm just gonna say, yeah, that sounds fair.
You're correct, and everyone agrees with you.
One thing that I actually really loved about Pikmin 3 that made me like want to stick with it the whole way is because the implementation of the Wii U gamepad. Because what they do is they have like a waypoint system that lets you individually move each captain without having to actually manually walk with them. You can set waypoints for them to go to, and they'll like let you know when they reach that point.
Oh.
Yeah,
So you could go with like a crowd of 20 Pikmin and have them all die trying to kill an enemy, while your other two are walking into battle somewhere else, also dying.
Yeah, they're
They're
always
all
That's how the
connected
game
to murder.
goes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I probably should have chose like a more obscure game.
No, you had things to talk about with it. We weren't super doing obscure things. I just
Okay.
have a lot of opinions on more obscure titles.
Yeah.
Alex, what would you like to see in Pikmin 4?
A
The game
game.
to exist first of all.
Again, yeah. Besides its appearance in the physical world, yeah.
Yes, that's a very good question.
This is me when they'll call me through like, what do you want out of a video game? Thank you.
Please. When do you want it?
That's
Right
it.
now?
I don't care. I think just any new implementation of a system, just because they've been using the same like style of mechanics for so long.
Yeah.
Like the example I will go with is kind of spoilery, but for the final boss of Pikmin 3, instead of just directly fighting him and throwing Pikmin at him right away, there's actually a chase scene where you have to like lead him around on a wild goose chase with one captain, while you use the other guys to build your way to an escape. So that way you can get to an area where you can actually fight him. That was like the one time the Pikmin game actually used its mechanics in something besides throwing Pikmin and trying to kill stuff.
Okay, yeah, that's them actually mixing it up.
Yeah.
That's neat.
I think just some more stuff like that would be interesting. Because I know it didn't go over super well for some people. They're like, oh, it's such a frustrating part. I hated it. And it was kind of sucky at times because it took me like 3 in-game days. Words are tough.
In-day games.
It's late.
I'm bad at speaking in general, so I'm working on it.
Did you forget who you're talking to?
Yeah, really.
I mean, half my vocabulary
Oh, Alex.
half my vocabulary is me tripping over my own words. So
Ooh, mood.
Oof, big mood.
yeah, but yeah, just please Pikmin 4. I swear to God, I will hurt someone if it doesn't come out soon.
It's okay, I got it. I
It
understand.
was rumored that it was gonna come out for the Wii U. Bron, was that you who posted this?
No.
I hope you die.
Ron, stop putting things in Discord chat. They're like super cursed. Thank you.
It's the only thing I'm good at, though.
Do you hear me laughing right now, Bron? I hope you die.
Oh, thank you.
God.
Okay, I gotta laugh. I'm sorry.
I hope
hear
you wind up
laughing
dead.
now. Does that count?
A
Yes.
little bit.
Yeah, that's cool. I've always been interested in Pikmin from afar. I think I watched like the first 2 episodes of Chugga Conroy's playthrough for it, and then I stopped. But it's one that I want to go back to.
Yeah, I would highly suggest getting into it. There's not much of a learning curve, but it's like once you kind of get the base mechanics down, then it's just you mastering the mechanics to get really good at it. Because if you see people do like challenge runs of Pikmin 3, which was like something they did exclusively for the Wii U version. Well, they had challenge mode for Pikmin 2, but this is, and Pikmin 1, but this is different. It's like they have special stages where you have to try getting as much money as you can, or much fruit juice, I think.
Okay.
And but the maps are set up very strategically, so you have to like learn them super well, know where to go, and how to like split your Pikmin in order to do it correctly.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
And then
I
there's
like
also
that.
like,
That's an idea,
yeah, it's fun. And then Pikmin 1 has like try to get as many Pikmin as you can in the least amount of time. And then Pikmin 2 actually has a battle mode and a challenge mode where you have to try like making your way through specially created caves with like unique Pikmin. Because like there's one level that's super fun that gives you 2 Bulbmin, which are the most adorable Pikmin of all time.
They're the fat ones?
They're the main enemy of the game are Bulborbs.
Oh,
Imagine
yeah.
those, except tiny with Pikmin leaves, and they're so good, and they're pure
wonderful.
boys, and they make the best noises the whole game.
I'm sorry,
But-
I have to interrupt you because I was looking up. I forgot when Chugga posted his playthrough of it. It says 2010, so I'm just
Jeez.
Wow.
looking up for a series of moments.
It's a long time. I don't think I've ever seen Chugga Conroy. Now I probably should.
Like at all?
Yeah, not at all.
Oh,
I was
really? You should watch it.
I was really into him when I was younger because he doesn't like curse or anything, so he's good for like a younger audience.
Yeah, I
He's
suppose.
wholesome.
It was like the height of like Let's Players too when I like first got into YouTube when I was like 10 years old. So I watched
Yeah.
and I watched like Nintendo Capri Sun and Lucajin, even though they're really adult and I was a baby.
Nintendo Capri Sun is a name I have not heard in ages.
He's
I
a
have
good
never
boy.
heard that name actually.
He's a
Yeah.
very good boy.
He is. He's great.
He was never as popular as John or Chugga, but
No.
he deserves
Well, we know what we're watching with Alex afterwards.
Hell yeah.
Binge watching famous early YouTube Let's Players.
Hell yeah.
At some point, I need to convince you guys though to do Pikmin 2 battle mode. Just because it's a good time.
Okay.
You don't even need to know the controls. All the things you need to know in order to get hooked on the game is you collect cherries in order to get power-ups that can kill people.
Okay.
You can burp and fart, and that changes your Pikmin.
Perfect.
How
I'm
does it
hooked. I'm
change
sold.
them?
Burping buries your enemy's Pikmin, and farting powers up your Pikmin so they're stronger.
Nice.
I know they're actually called something different, but I've only called them burping and farting, so that's the only thing I will call them.
That's amazing.
Because it's literally like you moving your head forward and all the Pikmin in front of you go underground. That's burping. And then just you squatting down and a red cloud coming out behind you. And that charges up your Pikmin.
It's terrible.
That's great. I
Right.
love it.
I'm
I can't
sorry.
wait.
I'm just looking at Pikmin stuff, and it's just like people also searched for Pikmin 2. Came out in 2004, and Pikmin came out in 2013. Oof.
You know how that feels?
Ooh.
I remember as a child, like searching every day, like, is there Pikmin 3 news yet?
Nope.
Please.
We'll get
There's a
there
new one coming
eventually.
out.
That's so sad.
Please.
I have not changed at all since I was a child.
That's relatable. Is that it for your Pikmin rant?
Yeah. I
Okay,
don't
I
have a
didn't
lot
want
of
to stop
interesting
you.
things to say.
I was
Yeah.
trying to remember that. Ooh, that's gonna.
At
I'm
the
gonna.
very beginning.
You guys.
Sorry, my computer made an update sound, and I'll probably have to cut that.
Ooh.
It's fine.
Oh.
But
I
what were
didn't
we
hear
talking
anything.
about for like a very short time before Alex talked about Pikmin?
What between you and him? I don't remember.
I guess I don't remember either.
Whoops.
Shoot. It was
Yeah.
Octopath Traveler. Were we RPGs? Maybe?
Talked
Pixel
about
art,
arms.
Ghost Trick. Yeah, that was before.
That was before. I talked about arms for like 2 seconds, but that's
Yeah,
it.
a hot sec.
Everyone who listens, all 3 people, be like, how are you so stupid? Oh my god.
Absolutely
God.
infuriated. It's like
You
watching
guys have the memories of fleas.
It's
Yes.
like watching an episode of Game Grumps.
we're all Aaron.
All Aaron at his worst moments.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep, that's us. I hope you enjoy.
It's pretty relatable. Okay, so well, I guess we're like at an hour and like 45 minutes ish.
Mhm.
Do you want to continue that thing where we like come up with game ideas based on like
Yes. We are a game
Yeah.
podcast, so
Yes, of course.
video game podcast?
BD Gammas.
BD gamers.
we just gotta have a really good mobile game. That way we'll be popular and make all the money.
No, it has to be one of those mobile games where it's like you battle people, like the ones you get all the advertisements for. Where it's just
Oh, Battle Royale.
Oh no.
No, wait, not Battle. I mean,
I don't even think it's a battle. It's just like
yeah, it's just any of the Clash of Clans clones.
yeah,
Yeah.
like War Simulator, but it's like all really bad pixel art, and they all look
Yeah.
cool, and you're just setting up forts or whatever.
The games that only exist to have ads so that it can too have ads on another game.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, you know what we need?
What?
Sorry, you go first. My ideas.
Oh, I almost suggested an anime version of one of those, but I think that actually exists, and I've
An
seen my
anime
friend play it.
Oh,
so-
definitely. That's like the computer versions of the ad. It's like tit woman, play our game.
Oh god.
Yep.
You know what I was gonna
that's,
say
that's
is-
basically Sword Art Online.
Oh my god! I was gonna say make a like put together. I don't know if you've seen the commercials for that game episodes. Like, I don't even know if it's a game. It's like this really bad animated looking.
Oh, where it's like the fake phone call stuff, or
Oh no! It looks like a
like the high
Facebook
school
game.
dating.
Yeah,
sim.
that one. Yes, it's like that. We mix it with one of
Oh
the
no.
little boys'
Oh,
Clash of
no.
Clans games. So it's just like a bunch of situations, but they're all like war related. Like it's a bunch of Japs talking to each other over
Oh.
tea. They're like,
Be even
Oh,
better if it was
no.
just like your character clearly does not fit in.
oh,
just like-
absolutely.
Sir, should we build the cannons up or reinforce the walls? You're like, let's go for dinner.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I'm having a lot of problems with my boyfriend. I
Yeah.
don't want to talk about it with
Like-
someone. It's like the enemy's about to attack. It's like can it like wait a little bit? Like I'm just having a really bad day. It's
You know, I was
What should
talking
we do to set
Tim.
up? What should we do to set up the triage, sir? I don't know. Becky's messing around with my boyfriend Jake, and I really can't deal with that today. Okay.
yeah, it's like really bad. I don't know if you've ever seen like the fan made ones for like where the little girls make like One Direction like date episodes or whatever.
Oh,
It's like those, but like Clash of Clans style. So it's like you have like the battle simulation, and all the little characters are like episode style, like anime boys. You're putting them on the front lines, but then the Fire Emblem, you put 2 characters next to each other, and they have like a really badly scripted scene. It's like you want to go on a date later. It's like, oh my god, he's asking me out. Like, what do I do?
Stab him in the heart with the sword.
Yeah,
Oh my
it gives you like 2 options. It's like go out with him. It's like murder him in cold blood.
Murder. Yeah. Kill him. Kill
You
him
decide. Episode.
All this has to be like really bad flash animated movement.
Oh, of course.
Now. Yes. Yeah.
Where they just have like set poses that they do and like
Yeah, like a front-facing running scene that's just god awful to look at.
oh my god, yes.
It's like that program that they use to animate. I say that in massive quotes to animate those Caillou videos.
Yeah, I was gonna say
What?
Caillou goes to detention, then gets executed or whatever.
What?
There's
Oh,
there's like
I've never
really
seen him.
low quality
Caillou.
YouTube, like animated YouTube videos that people do just to get like money or their spam or whatever, and it's like some like in browser animation service where it's just like a bunch of like doll rigged models that you can customize and they have like set motions.
Yeah, like that,
Really
that
bad
loop because it's no one
Oh.
cares at all.
Yeah.
Oh, these are in the realm of just like those really weird like Spider-Man Elsa videos. Oh,
Yeah, those, but
Lord.
it's like flash animated.
Why is this an hour long?
It's a saga. That's the style of our Clash of Clans clone.
You know what's sad though is that
What?
these genuinely look like something out of Family Guy.
Caillou.
It hurts.
It really doesn't look any better.
You're
If I'm
right.
if I'm being honest with myself.
Oh my god, Rick and Morty looks great.
You know what? And
That's how I get flamed. I start making Rick and Morty jokes because like doesn't look that great all the time.
okay, so I'm on this video that's an hour long.
Alex.
It has at least
No.
30 ads, and it's from an official Caillou YouTube channel. That's
Wait, oh my god, did you
It
take a
has
screen?
a check mark.
Did you take a screen? Please take a screenshot of like all the yellow dots on the video
Seriously, I
because
need
I
to
want
see
to see
this.
how many ads. I have
One
to
sec.
know. We got
How
off
many
topic
ads?
from our game idea, but
Yeah. We got off
Okay,
topic
this
from our
isn't
podcast.
too bad of an animation,
whatever. It's
but
who cares. We're just having fun. The podcast is about having fun.
yeah, that's all
Yeah,
that matters.
man.
I think all the
Don't
best
expect
podcasts
anything
are the
from us.
one that have like a general idea, but it's just like people who like talking to each other and they just
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
not
I
to
say
say
the
that our
big-
podcast is good, but
The big problem with that is that they typically talk to each other and they don't have immediate access to the internet right at their fingertips. Or at
Well, too
least they
bad.
refuse
We're
to do it.
stronger than them.
no, I've watched
Yeah.
podcasts where
We're powerful.
no, you know what? Where I found that one article about the guy who jerked himself off to death, that was because I was watching a podcast that started off with some dude looking up that article online and talking about it.
I'm so glad that that's.
Oh my
how you
god, Alex! I
said
like how
that aloud.
how evenly spaced all these advertisements are.
Is that
It looks like Caillou, which is not
that
what I
looks
was
like
talking
actually
about.
Caillou?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because this is the official Caillou YouTube site.
Oh, that's
Is
not
it
what I was
the-
talking about.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find an actual bad one. Caillou goes
Oh.
to the gym. This has to be bad.
I said, just look up Caillou
Yeah.
gets executed and
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like,
no.
or goes to jail. Yeah.
goes to
found
jail,
it.
gets
I
executed.
found a bad one.
Yeah.
We had a flash game like, but those models.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember the name of this program because I know it.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's a very basic animation program, and I think
Oh, basic doesn't even begin.
I used it for class one time. Is the thing
Really?
No.
elementary
God.
school?
Please tell me you burned that project after it was done.
Oh, it was never seen again. No, we needed to do some like comic making program, but like animated comics that looked like that.
Okay.
Like
Ugh.
put facts about U.S. history or something in it. I don't know. It was just a weird project.
Yeah, that's terrifying, man.
And I like to repress all my elementary school memory. There it is.
Yeah.
Look at the quality difference.
God, what an
It's like,
absolute
oh, it's an
classic.
actually animated show. And
Yeah. No, it's this.
Family Guy, TM.
Yeah.
Johnny Test. Johnny Test was flash animation. That's the worst part.
it started out hand drawn, but yeah, they went to
Johnny
flash
Test
animation.
started out hand drawn.
Yeah, I watched a whole
Where?
video about it, and like
Where,
they
Bronson?
compared. Oh gosh, I don't remember. It was forever ago.
Hell.
No,
The
I
only
need
place where you see Johnny Test video.
I need to see these first Johnny Test episodes that actually look good. Please.
Hold on. I think it was this. I think.
I like how I googled Johnny Test and the first thing that like auto was Johnny Test whip crack.
Oh no.
Because I did look that up
They
at
do
one
that all
point
the
where
time.
it like counts the whip cracks in the episode.
Compilation.
Of course, it's a classic.
Oh god, terrible. Yes, podcast. We have that. We're doing that, aren't we?
No, the podcast needs to know about Johnny
Ladies-
Test.
Ladies and gentlemen, This is the video game podcast. We talk about games sometimes.
Animation is a very important factor of video games, and therefore,
Yes, you're very
Yeah. Have you ever tried rigging a character? That's game design and it sucks.
oof,
yeah.
big oof.
Major oof.
Bone structure, like I'd rather be dead. Thank you very.
Did you say bones?
I need more bones.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something earlier. Actually related to games.
Oh,
I doubt that.
what? What are you talking about?
It was shoot. It was something you were talking about earlier, Amy. It was a comment I wanted to make. Oh no, I remembered it, and then as I said, I remembered it. I forgot it again.
Freaking rip.
The universe doesn't want this podcast to be about games, guys.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Sorry, I found a picture of Johnny Test with tits. That's canon. So.
Well.
I don't want to know about that. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't mean it.
Please.
No.
It doesn't exist. I was just kidding.
I
That
totally
information
was.
is on a don't need to know basis.
I was totally joking. It doesn't exist. I'll spare you.
Thank
You know
you.
what?
I'm so happy.
You know, it's a deeply disturbing thought. There's probably
What?
Rule 34.
Me breathing. Oh,
Probably.
yeah. Yeah.
That's very hopeful.
They probably. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
How old of a show that is? There definitely is Rule
Okay,
34.
yeah. I want to
And-
die again.
And with
You
that,
don't know how much it deeply hurts me after your comment. Your
sorry.
comment about Omar.
I'm right though. I feel like with
Yeah.
that we should bring this to a close.
I think so. We're going off now.
I think it's about that time. Oh no. People make it to the second episode after the
They're not.
offended everyone with the first one.
We die at the first 10 minutes of the first one.
The only people watching this are people who have accidentally clicked on this in the recommended section for some reason.
That and Dylan, who I'm going to force to watch all of these episodes.
So
Oh,
of course our
no.
close friends, yes. No one else.
No one else. No.
It's just going to be us watching back like, oh, should we really have said that?
Yeah,
who
just
cares?
regretting everything.
Yeah, like 5 years down the line. That's what happens every time you make a YouTube account. You find it later and you're like, ooh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh
Let's
no,
hope
why
there's
would
a
I do
stage where It's
that?
like, maybe I wasn't cringy then.
Every time I breathe, I cringe.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cringing.
Cringe compilation. God's making
There-
life right now.
There's a
The
point
life
somewhere
of film.
between my brain and my mouth where everything I want to say that's like perfectly laid out and measured out just like dissolves into like goop and just falls out of my face.
That's
Yeah.
pretty impressive that you actually have the words between your brain and your mouth, first of all.
Yeah, they're lodged up in there. I need surgery.
No, I only have 3 brain cells actually, and they're just
I can kill them all strategically.
yeah, it's fine.
One scalpel plunge.
Hold on. Sans Undertale, Matt, Matt Pat, and the Pope.
No, my
System error, system error.
my third brain cell is
Just a
anime
flatline.
titties. Excuse me. Sans Undertale, Matt, Pat, and anime titties. That's it.
There you go. Well, no,
Okay.
I wasn't giving the content of your brain cells. I was trying to murder them.
Yeah,
No, that's what I'm thinking about at any given moment.
Okay. that's fair.
Okay,
Wonderful.
so this has been a podcast.
This has been a podcast.
The
Here.
podcast.
Your
We talked
brain
about
on
things.
games.
Yeah.
We were almost productive for the whole thing, and then
We'll have to come up with something that we all like don't know, just that way we can like search up stuff about it and be like, hey, this looks cool.
Yeah.
Maybe.
let me
This is the
introduce you a thing.
You know what? No, let's all agree. Next time we have a podcast, let's plan.
No,
Just plan.
no, that idea is vetoed.
Yeah.
As the self-appointed king of this podcast,
Oh yeah, we did announce
I
you as
say
the
no.
host.
Yeah, you're the host for some reason.
I'm the host
Yeah,
because I
thanks for
said
the
so.
three.
Because I drew myself with the crown, so they're
Yeah, that's true.
elective decision.
You're the king of the cucks, or queen of the cucks, who it
mean,
really doesn't
so-
matter.
Yeah, so what are Alex and
No.
I? Co-hosts, guests? We never did establish this.
Peasants.
We're peasants. Okay.
Yes. You are
Sure.
the Lord and Savior. We are the peasant. The peasants.
Wonderful.
Okay,
We're the
so
pheasants. The bird.
introduce yourself again.
Pheasants.
Outro, please.
Introduce ourselves for the
Yeah,
outro?
Who have
Amy.
you been?
I've been Bronson.
I've
Good.
been Alex.
I've stopped being Bronson a long time ago.
I don't know who
Been
I am.
replaced.
I've been Kamida. And thank you for watching Disney Channel.